Hey guys, it's JP, and this time I'm going to talk about why the Farmer's March is a great exercise for runners to implement, as well as different variations of this exercise to further challenge yourself. Now, I love incorporating the Farmer's March for runners for a variety of different reasons. As I mentioned before, loaded carries in general are a simple and effective way to load the muscles around the hip, core, and trunk. This also requires pretty minimal equipment, which may be a great thing to consider given that many people are limited in equipment as the gyms are still being temporarily closed. Anyway, this is talking about loaded carries in general. However, the next question that may arise is, why implement the Farmer's March specifically? Well, compared to the most basic variation of the loaded carry, which is the farmer's carry, the Farmer's March further challenges the muscles in a few more ways. First, since you are moving more slowly, you are on one leg longer. This inherently increases load demands, especially on the lateral hip musculature, aka the gluteus medius, which further challenges the muscles more. Also, since you are on one leg, this also increases balance demands as well. Therefore, this may also improve coordination and control around the core, trunk, and hip area, which can be beneficial as a runner. Now that we covered the benefits of the Farmer's March, let's go over how to do the Farmer's March, along with some variations of this exercise to challenge yourself even more in different ways. First, we will be taking a look at the Farmer's March. Again, this is a great way to work on coordination and control of the muscles around the lumbopelvic hip complex. I really like how simple and adaptable this exercise is, as you can easily interchange the weights with any weighted object like a grocery bag filled with items. Now to do this one, you will basically go into a march position. As you get into this position, I tell my athletes to get tall. This means to get the knee fully extended as well as keep the torso upright. Also, I cue them to keep the hips and shoulders level. This helps prevent a common compensation of leaning toward one side and helps you engage the muscles around the core, trunk, and hip. Then, as you land, I typically cue to keep the landing soft and gentle, almost as if you don't want to make any noise. This cue makes sure the athlete maintains control and coordination. Then, you can continue to march. I typically have the athlete begin performing these 3 times for 1-minute durations, then change it up depending on what the athlete needs. Now, we will go over a variation known as the overhead farmer's march. This variation involves increased coordination and trunk demands. I also use this to help the athlete learn how to keep an upright, balanced torso. Being in this position typically prevents the person from leaning excessively forward. However, the common compensation is letting the back arch. This is a common compensation also seen when a runner is fatiguing toward the end of the race. By keeping the ribs from flaring and engaging the core, this reinforces an upright, balanced trunk position, which may hopefully carry over into running. Now here we are using a barbell, but this can easily be substituted by holding a backpack filled with books, or even just holding weights in each hand. The last variation we'll go over in this video is the overhead reach variation. This incorporates more dynamic movement and really facilitates an upright position, which again, may be beneficial. I really like incorporating this, not just as a possible strengthening exercise, but also a dynamic drill and warm-up. In a way, this basically involves active movement and coordination of the entire body. Now to do this variation, I'd recommend starting with light weights or no weight at all to learn the movement. Then, the difference with this one is that when you go into a march position, you will also extend the opposite arm all the way. By doing it this way, this actually increases coordination and load demands on the muscles around the lumbopelvic hip complex. However, remember the cues of getting tall as well as keeping the shoulders and hips level. Then, you will alternate toward the other side and you can continue the exercise. And those are my thoughts on the Farmer's March and different variations you can try. I hope you guys found this useful and will find it beneficial to improve your own running performance. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any ideas you have for future videos. And as always, thank you for watching.